So yeah, I was married at 19, about 20. I was signing and filing for a divorce. Let's talk about it. Hey yo, it's your boy Carl. You already know I'm back at it again for another video. You already know what it is. Today, I got a good video for you guys. It's a great story time. I know that I said I was going to be making more and more videos on here, but I just haven't. I've been away for a little bit. But not gonna lie, I've been on my live channel doing streams. So if you want to see some clips of me on stream, make sure you go subscribe to my live channel at King Carl Lives. Link will be in the description. And also, before we get this story time started, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now because I will be posting more videos on here. Actually, really soon I will be posting more videos in here. So make sure you subscribe right now before we even get the video started. This is gonna be a great video. Subscribe right now. Like I said, I got a great story time. This story time is how I got married at 19 years old. And when I was 20 years old, and this all happened within the same year because this happened in 2024. I was already 19 in 2024, and then I turned 20 in 2024 in October. So this all happened within a span of a couple months actually. So you don't want to miss this. Watch this full video so you can get the whole story and so you can understand, because it gets crazy towards the end. You don't want to miss this at all. Before I get this video started, I do want to say that this video is no way meant to bash anybody. It's not meant to bash anybody or anything. I'm just giving a story time of what happened, and yeah, that's all I'm doing. So don't even get offended. If the person that's watching this, don't get offended. If you know that what I'm talking about is you, don't get offended. This video is not meant to bash anybody at all. But before we get to the juicy parts, I gotta tell you how me and the thing met. Wait, should I call her a thing? I feel like that's a little disrespectful. Not gonna lie. I know. But I feel like it's a little disrespectful. We're gonna give her a name. We're gonna call her Ty. Okay, we're gonna call her Ty. So me and Ty met on P&K. If you don't know what P&K is like Wiz. If you don't know what Wiz is, it's like Tinder. Should I go? And if you don't know what Tinder is, I don't know what to tell you. Go get a life at this point. But we met on P&K. So on P&K, if you know what it is, not gonna lie, I will swipe right on every single person because P&K had no limitation on how many swipes you had. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna swipe right on everybody, and then I'm gonna wait for them to add me back. Then when they add me back, that's when I will determine if I'm gonna mess with them, if I'm gonna fuck with them, because yeah, I gotta see what you look like and scope up the profile, because I'm not gonna go through all them pictures on every single person. So I ended up just swiping right on everybody. Ty ended up being one of the people that added me back. So I scoped out the profile, and when I saw the profile, I saw green light, green light, green light, green light, green light, green light, green light. You know what I mean? So I ended up hitting her up. I was like, what's up? You feel me? What's good? What's good? The smooth was good, not too much. You know what I mean? I said, what's good? She ended up responding and was like, we had a little small conversation on there. I don't remember every little single detail. I don't have it on my phone anymore, but yeah. I don't remember every single detail. I'm not gonna lie about the message. But we had really small conversation, and we talked about like little small things, but maybe 2 to 3 things, because I don't be on P&K or any of those type of apps like that. It's like a once in a while thing. So I ended up texting her. I was like, I don't be on here that much. Here go my Instagram. Add me on Instagram and text me on there. Now, it took her days to add me and text me on Instagram, bro. And by that time, I was already talking to somebody else. I had already moved on, you feel me? Because I'm not going to wait for somebody I'm not going to wait around, bro. So I was already talking to somebody else, and I don't entertain more than one person at a time. That's not the type of person that I am. If you know me, you know that's not the type of person that I am. So I ended up seeing the message. She ended up texting me, hey, new friends. And I ended up seeing it, but when I saw it, I ignored it, and I ended up deleting the message because you was gonna get me caught up with my new situationship. I was gonna get caught up, and I take my situationship seriously. You feel me? So I ended up just deleting the message and not responding. Now, a couple weeks later, we are in July. Remember, this is in July of 2024. We're now in the middle of July, closer towards the end of July. A couple weeks later, me and Shawty that I was talking to in the situationship with, we're no longer talking. So I'm on Instagram randomly, just scrolling like a normal person, and I'm just looking on Instagram. I ended up coming across a note that Ty posted, but at the time I did not know that it was Ty because I had deleted everything. So Ty ended up posting a note saying, "I need a man," or "I want a man." It was something of that sort. And I was like, I should respond, you know? Why not respond? But before I responded, I had to scope out the profile once again. And I didn't remember Ty, honestly, because I have short-term memory. I don't even remember things. So, I scoped up the profile. And once I scoped up the profile, I saw a green light, green light, green light, green light, just like I saw on PNK, green light, green light, green light. So I end up saying, me. I hit the smooth me, you feel me? Random, just simply me to I need a man or I want a man, something of the sort. I just said me. W Riz, put W's in the chat for real. I'm acting like I'm on stream, but put W's in the comments because that's W Riz if I do say so myself. But she ended up replying to that and saying, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So after that, we ended up talking for a little, the little simple conversation. What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? Do you have a job? Do you have you know what I mean? All of them little small conversations. We had those on Instagram. But then after a while, I was like, okay, we're going to move a step forward. Here go my number. Text me on my phone because I have quicker access on my phone to message you back because I think I was at work during the time. So we get on the phone. We start texting on iMessage. Conversation's getting a little deep. No diggy. Conversation is getting deeper, not gonna lie. We're starting to get to know each other more. We're starting to know what we want in a relationship. We're starting to ask about our goals, our past, our love language, all that good stuff, And another thing that I had to ask this question. And the reason I'm about to tell you what I asked is because it plays a crucial part in everything. I asked her, what is your body count? Now, if you don't ask this question, you're stupid because who wants to be with somebody with a high body count? I know I don't, bro. So I end up asking her, what is your body count? She said she only has one body. Remember that. One body. So in my head, I'm like, dang, I never met a girl that only got one body. And, we talking and everything. She's telling me how she feel. I'm telling her how I feel. And we're agreeing on so many things. I've never agreed with somebody on so many things that if you're in this generation, you know how hard it is to match with someone that has the same mindset as you. So everything she was saying was so perfect. It was like all too good to be true. She was like a rare girl because not many girls are gonna agree with you and are on the same type of timing that you want and respectful and all that. You know what I mean? It's really rare that you'll find a good girl these days, not gonna lie. So everything was too good to be true. It was giving green light, green light, green light, green light, flashing green lights. And I was like, bro, this is like a fairy tale, bro. It's too good to be true. So you know what I had to do? I had to start an investigation, bro. Because I'm like, this is unreal. So I ended up starting an investigation. She's from my hometown and she follows people that I can call up on the phone and just ask questions to, and they follow her back. So I seen that she follows people that I know and they follow her back. So I ended up calling up my homegirl at the time. I ended up calling her. I'm like, bro, I'm talking to Ty. She's like, everything about her is just so perfect. Like, do you know anything bad about her? My homegirl ends up being like, nah, I don't know anything bad about her. I just know her to have dated 2 people and that she just works a lot and then that she just takes care of her niece. And at the time, everything that my homegirl said was adding up to what Ty said. So I'm like, okay, bet. I'm like, I tell my homegirl, go ask your mother because her mother had this little dance group. And her mother knows like everybody. I said, ask your mother, does she know anything about her? Her mother ends up coming back and saying like, no, I don't know anything about her. She's just a very quiet person. But you know about them quiet people. That's exactly what she said. So after I got the green light, green light, green light, we are now at August 2nd, 2024. August 2nd, 2024. I end up pulling the little boy move. I asked her to be my girlfriend through text. I asked her to be my girlfriend through text and she said yes. At this time, I have never met her in person. I haven't even FaceTimed her yet. And I think we only talked on the phone maybe once or twice ever. So remember that. We never talked on FaceTime. I never really seen her. I've never seen her in person. Never met her in person. So we continue to talk more and more and more and more. Everything's going good. You know, she's really caring and all that at this time. She's asking me how my day is going, if I ate, and how I was doing, and if I needed to talk about anything. And she was just there. And that was just so rare to me. I never had a girl that really cared. So at this point, I'm like falling in love. I'm falling in love, bro, at this point. And then she asked me the question, did I eat? I said, no, I didn't eat, because at the time I did not eat that day. And she said, what's your cash app? She said, what's your cash app? And bro, now don't get me wrong. I am not a gold digger at all. It just surprised me and shocked me because most times I'm the person buying the gifts. I'm the person giving you money for food and all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, I believe that the man should be the provider. So it was all rare to me that she's just doing all of this. She ended up sending me money, bro, for food. I didn't even ask or anything. She just did it. And that really shocked me. I never heard a girl like that at all. It was an experience I never experienced. So it had me feeling good. You feel me? So everything continues to be good at this point. We make plans to meet with each other. We are now still in August, the beginning of August. Maybe a week or two later, we make plans to meet with each other since we never met out. Since we never met at all. I ended up renting a car thanks to Taro because they allow people to rent 18 and up. I ended up renting a car so we could spend the day together. And she even ended up paying for half of the car. The car was like 200. She paid 100. I paid 100. So like, I never had someone that with 50-50. It's always girls that want 0-100. You know, the man doing 100%, which is cool and all, but you know what I mean. So we ended up spending the whole day together. We rode around. We went to the mall. We went go-kart racing, but we didn't end up getting on the go-karts because it was packed. We went out to eat, and then we went out to the movies. We spent literally the whole day together. Everything was perfect. The only thing that happened that day was that the car broke down at the top of the garage, and we were stuck for hours. So like, the car got stuck at the top of the garage at like 11, and we was there until 6 a.m. But we ended up just talking. Nothing else happened because it's the first time of us meeting. Like, so we ended up just talking and everything. After that, everything just was perfect. We ended up hanging out every single day. Literally every single day after that first time we met. We would go, literally, we would do things that I've never done before. We ended up going get ice cream one day. We would go on walks downtown. We would literally go sit by the water and just talk. We would go listen to music in the park. You know what? I've never done that with anybody before. So at this point, I am in love. At this point, I have fallen deep, chat. Fallen deep. I never did that with anybody. So it was like a dream. It was like I was living a dream. I was living a fairy tale. And she still haven't given off any red flags. It was still nothing that gave me a about her or anything. I've never went through her phone at this point in time because everything was like green light, green light, green light, green light, green light. And that's how much I was distracted by the things that she was doing. Okay, this is where we get to the marriage part at this point. One night, randomly, we are now at still in like the middle of August, towards closer to the end, but still the middle of August. Like maybe like the 13th, the 13th of August. Around that time, at one night, randomly, the topic of marriage comes up. And when I was younger, not gonna lie, when I was younger, I always thought about getting married at 18 and running away and living my best life and not telling nobody, you know what I mean? So I used to always watch videos about people being married young and their story time and how their parents found out and how they lived to have a great life and had kids and all this other stuff. But if you're watching this video because you're trying to get advice or thinking about doing it and trying to see other people's story time, I would suggest you don't do it, fam. But the topic of marriage came up and she was really down for it. And I was down for it at this time too because she was like the number one girl. Like, I've never met anyone like her. I thought that this was gonna be one of those moments where it was a fairy tale story. I married her and we lived happily ever after. Hell no. I was totally mistaken. But we're going to get there. Stay with me. So when the topic of marriage comes out, like I said, she was totally down for it. And I had no doubt because I was so blind and so stupid at the time. And I was the most retarded in the world. So after some time of talking that night, we literally decided, you know what? The next morning, we're going to go and get a marriage license. It's the next morning. We decide we're going to get the marriage license that morning. We both go to the courthouse together and all that. We apply for the marriage license. After we apply for the marriage license, we go to eat. And we walk around downtown. At this point, we just did the marriage license. The marriage license is nothing. You need a marriage license to get married because the officiant has to sign it, whatever. So, this is what happens. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't keep a secret. The goal was to not tell nobody and nobody was going to find out. I ended up taking a picture of the marriage license and I put it on my close friends. I put the marriage license on my close friends, the people I trusted at the time. Now, this is where it gets juicy, bro. This is where it gets juicy. Grab some snacks, grab some drinks, grab whatever you need. We are now entering into some of the best parts of the story time. Still, it is the same day, August 14th, where I posted the marriage license to my close friends. There's this dude, we're going to call him D. D ended up swiping up on that story. And he ended up saying, why you always with my girl? Or why you always messing with the same girls I mess with? It was something of that sort. He said that. At this time, Ty had already told me about previous interactions she had with D. But she never said some crucial information. She told me that D and her was cool, but she never told me crucial information. So at this time, August 14th, I don't reply to D. I don't say anything to D because I don't really care. Like, what do you mean? So at this point, I don't reply. August 15th, the next day, D texts me again. So at this point, he double texts. And he says, I was just with her the other day. At this point, I'm like, what? What do you mean you just with her the other day? So I text D back at this point. I'm like, how long ago was this? And come to find out, it was before me and the girl started talking. So at this point, I was scared. Or whatever. It was before we started talking. It was back in July, before me even her started talking. About when I was talking to the girl. So I was like, oh, okay. But then he goes on to say that him and Ty had sexual intercourse and was doing sexual activities, and that Ty is a hoe, and that she had 5+ bodies when she was talking to D, and that she went around and smashed everybody in her neighborhood. Now, at this point, I'm like shattered. I'm at work and my whole heart just sinks. And at this point, I can't hold it back. I have to confront Ty, you know what I mean? So I text her and asked her about the situation. And at the same time I did that, D texted me and was like, don't text her because all she's going to do is gaslight you and she's going to manipulate you and say that it's all a lie. And at this point, I had no reason to think that D was lying to me until Ty texted me and say, he's lying to you, he's just mad because he wanted to get with me and all this other stuff. And then I also remember where I had this other girlfriend, but she wasn't my girlfriend. We were just cool. That she was telling me that her and D had an interaction where D was kind of forcing her to do things and all that other stuff and would get mad if he didn't do it. So at this point, I'm still end up believing Ty, which I was stupid. And Ty ends up saying, so I address about the body situation to Ty. Ty ends up just saying, yeah, I only have 2 bodies now, but the body with D, it never went in, so I don't count it as a body. Long story short, I ended up believing Ty and we went about our day. Literally. We continued the relationship like nothing ever happened. Now we are at the ceremony, planning for the ceremony and planning to get married at the courthouse, to get eloped. They call it elope when you get married at the courthouse. At this time, still nobody knew about the marriage except for my close friends and some people, but nobody knew that we were planning to actually get married, and nobody, no family, no nothing. So everything went back to normal. We started planning for what day we will have the ceremony. When we were thinking about planning the ceremony, we ended up planning it for September 3rd of 2024. Listen, keep up. We started dating August 2nd. We planned to get the marriage August 3rd. Oh no, we planned to get the marriage September 3rd. Sorry, my fault. September 3rd. We met and started dating August 2nd. We planned to get married September 3rd. I know. Don't talk about me. We listen and we don't judge. September 3rd comes. September 3rd comes. So I'm nervous and all that. I'm home. I'm getting ready. Luckily, there's nobody home here to ask me where I'm about to go and why am I dressed up in a white shirt and some khakis and where am I going at 8 o'clock in the morning. You feel me? I get dressed up, and so nobody was there here to question me for us. So I'm like, it's about to be a perfect day. We get to the courthouse. We take some pictures. We meet. We take some pre-pictures. We go to sign in, and they walk us to the chapel. At this point, I'm nervous as hell. I'm about to marry somebody, but in my head, I am deeply in love with this person at this time. The person walks in to marry us, the officiant, I guess, whoever that was. The officiant walks in, talks to us, and was like, let's begin the ceremony. We did have rings. Let me talk about that. We did have rings. We ended up ordering our own rings. Well, she got her ring from Pandora, and I got mine off Amazon for $19.99, and I got 3 of them. I got a silver, gold, and black one combo pack for $19.99. That's kind of expensive when you think about it. And she ended up getting hers from Pandora for $85. Perfect. We get there, the person walks in, and now beginning the ceremony. We do the blah 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 blah. We're holding hands. Blah 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 blah. She says whatever, and then the I do part comes, and for better or for worse, blah 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 blah. And she says, "Congratulations, you're married." At this point, I am now married. After the whole marriage ceremony, we ended up just walking around downtown, and we ended up going to Chipotle. Sounds like a good story, But in my head, I'm thinking, this is just adding to the fairy tale. We're gonna have children, and we'll get to tell our children that what happened and everything and how we made it. Blah blah blah. No. We got Chick-fil-A, and then we went back to our people's house for a little bit, and then I went home because we both had to work later that day. Literally in the same day that we got married, everything went downhill after that. We started having multiple arguments, and it was always something. But in my head, I was like, this is normal relationships. People have arguments in relationships, so it doesn't really matter to me. Fast forward, after a week. A week later, the word started to spread that we got married. Because we would tell some people here and there. So, we tell some people here and there, but it was people that we would trust. So, I'm at work this day, but her mom ends up finding out. So Ty's mom ends up finding out while she's at work. And Ty's mom so happens to work with one of my family members. And so Ty's mom ends up going into my family member at work and telling him about the whole marriage situation. And did he know? At this point, my family member doesn't know, and he's shocked. So he ends up calling my sister about it and seeing if she knew, and she did not know anything about it. Mind you, I'm at work. I'm having such a great day. I'm working at Target during this time. Everything's going so good. I have nowhere to believe that anybody knows about this or anything that's about to happen. I get a call. I'm in the back of Target. I'm putting away people's orders. I was a film expert. I'm putting away people's orders. I get a call from my sister. She says, "What did you do?" I said, "Huh?" Because at this time I had no thought to think that she knew. So I'm like, "I didn't do anything. What are you talking about?" And then she says, "Is there anything you need to tell me?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No," because in my head, I know she doesn't know. I think she doesn't know. And at the same time where she says that line, I get a call, and it's my mother ringing my phone at the same time. I still have no thought in my head. I'm thinking the worst of the worst, and I don't even know because it's like I just don't know. End up saying to my sister, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about." She says the words, "You got married?" Bro, at that point, I'm stuck. This is how I'm looking. I am stuck. I'm not moving. I didn't say anything. I froze up for like 20 seconds straight up. And I ended up just saying, "I gotta call you back. I gotta call you back." My mother told me, which she was calling. My mother was blowing up my phone at this time. I ended up answering the phone with my mother, and I ended up just being like, "I gotta call you back. I gotta call you back. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna talk about it later." And I hung up so fast. I've never hung up so fast in my life. From that point, my day went terrible. Nobody accepted the marriage. Nobody knew the girl. The girl has never met my family. So nobody accepted it. You know what I mean? So this is the crazy part. The word started to spread so fast, it got to my church family. Now, if anybody is a church person, or a church girl, church boy, whatever, for me, that's where it gets crazy. Because in my church family's eyes, I'm a great person. I don't do anything, and I like to keep it that way. The church people is who I fear the most. And I'm not even Hugeee. I fear them the most, and they're paying the most. Not even gonna lie. So when it got to them, that was crazy for me. I was doomed. I didn't show up to church for a whole couple weeks. Not gonna lie. But this is where it gets crazy, y'all. I was at work. Randomly one day I was at work, and we had a huge argument. Argument like we never had before. I don't remember the exact context of the argument at all, but it was the biggest argument like that we had. And it got to the point where I was done with Ty. I was done with Ty because she had like ruined my life at this point in my eyes, because I was cut off from a lot of things. She ruined my image with my family, with my church family. So at this point, I was over her. From that argument, I was done. I ended up saying, "I'm not gonna take any more bullcrap from you," and I ended up blocking her on iMessage. I'm at work, Target. I'm at work. I'm doing fulfillment, whatever. I'm walking around the store getting people's orders. I get a text from Ty on Instagram. Let me pull up the thing because I do have screenshots. The screenshot's gonna be here. First message that she sends me is, "Don't ever play with me respectfully." And she sends a laughing emoji with the 100 sign thing. And then she said, "You made your bed. Now you're gonna lay in it." In my head, I'm like, okay, cool. This is just this delusional girl that is just talking crazy at this point. So then she says the line, "You're really gonna think I'm crazy." I said, "Bro, we're broken up. We're separated." She says, "I know. Trust me. I am scared for you." Still at this point in time, I am not really scared. I'm like, whatever, bro. But she do know where I work at, and she been there before, so she knows where I work. She ends up calling me on my phone on Instagram, and she says, "You're still in the store?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm at work. What do you want?" She's like, okay, they're on their way for you. I said, what? Like, you're so delusional or whatever. They're on their way for you. She said, be prepared. I'm really scared for you. They are coming for you like crazy. Okay, chat. At this point, I feared for my life. Not gonna lie. Because I don't know what she's capable of. I only known her for a month. Come on. And I know I'm stupid. But I only known her for a month. I don't know what she's gonna do. So at this point, I go to the office at my job to talk to a manager because I want to go home at this point. I have fear for my life. This is why I don't bring people to my home. I went to the office trying to talk to the manager. I said I need to talk with the manager because it's something I need to talk with them. At the time, they were already talking to somebody, right? So then I walk out of the office and they make me wait in the little like waiting room or whatever. So I ended up going live on Instagram. I don't know why, but I ended up going live on Instagram talking like, bro, I'm done with this girl. This girl's crazy. She's saying threatening stuff or whatever. Like basically trying to have a, if I die, this is, remember me. I said this and you know who did it type thing. So she ends up getting on my live and she's like, come out the office. They're outside waiting for you. They're outside waiting for you. Come out the office. They're at the Starbucks, whatever. And I'm like, bro, I'm not coming out of there. So at this point, I need to hurry up and talk to the manager. The manager brings me in. As the manager brings me in, everybody's running around in the office like, oh my god. And I'm trying to, as soon as I get the word up to the manager, I don't feel safe. I feel like something's going to happen. I don't feel safe. I want to go home. I get those lines out. Somebody comes in the office and says to the manager, I need to speak with you. Something's going on. Something's going on. Something's going on. And then I'm sitting in the office. The manager runs out of office. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, because I don't know. I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, bro. This is not about to be my death day. Out of nowhere, I hear on the walkie-talkie, somebody says, I need all store employees to tell all of the customers and all of the guests that they need to evacuate the building immediately. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I did not say no detail. I did not say anything. And then so they're trying to get everybody to the building. Everybody has to drop everything and leave the building. And so I'm sitting there like, bro, the manager told me to sit here. And no, and then the hiring manager was like, no, you need to get out right now. Everybody had to leave the building and go all the way across the parking lot because supposedly somebody called a bomb threat. Supposedly somebody called a bomb threat. And I'm going to say this. But listen, I want to say supposedly I believe that Ty had the bomb threat happen. Now, to sum up the story about the bomb threat situation, Ty actually did have someone, 2 people, 3 people actually, come to the store. And they weren't in the store during the same time as the bomb threat happened. And at Target, we have never had a situation like that. Especially at Target. Like, what? Bomb threat? So it's just crazy out of nowhere. How did today somebody call a bomb threat to the store? Ty had sent her father. So I did not know at first who it was. I did not learn until later, but her father was there, her stepmother, and some other kid or whatever. So at the time, I did not know who was there. So I'm thinking the worst of the worst. And the way she had put it made it sound bad, but I do believe that supposedly Ty sent the bomb threat to the store. Now, everyone's guilty. I mean, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. You know what I mean? So, I'm not gonna blame that 100% on her or whatever. After the whole bomb threat situation, I was completely done with Ty. Everybody found out about the bomb threat situation, and my parents was like, you gotta leave or you gotta leave here. You gotta leave her or leave here. And so I'm like, bro, I don't know. Blah. But after the whole bomb threat thing, listen to how dumb I was. I ended up forgiving her. I ended up forgiving her because I'm married to her at this point. I cannot just leave. It's a process, and I really want this to work out because I only said in my life I was only going to get married one time to one person, and I would never get a divorce. So, after I did stop talking to her for a little bit, October comes, and I ended up talking to her again. It's now my birthday. It's October 1st, my birthday. And we ended up talking again, and we ended up meeting up, and she took pictures for my birthday and all that. Now, after that, everybody knew about the marriage. Everybody knew about everything. And people really started to speak out. And this is where it gets crazy. And when everybody started to speak out, I found out that Ty was a liar. Ty was linking and meeting with multiple people during that time that we were talking. Ty had over 10 bodies, more than 10 bodies. Ty was just linking with everybody, and everything that D said was correct. She was a massive cheater. She was a massive liar, and everything she did was fake. And that's crazy. So therefore, I filed for a divorce, and I was done with her. I was done. I filed for a divorce, and it cost me a lot of money. So after that, I found out all that stuff. I was heartbroken. Come to find out, she was supposedly, as people described her, multiple people, she was the biggest freak of the town. And I didn't even know it. And by the time, it was too late. So therefore, do never marry somebody like I did. Don't ever do what I do or did until you really know the person. For real, Shoutout. Don't ever do it. Ever. She never cared. She never really wanted me. She had just did it to do it. And she was already talking to multiple people, having sexual activities and intercourse with other people. She was bringing other people to her home and in the middle of the night and linking up with people and all that other stuff. And she ended up being the worst person I've ever dealt with. The worst ex I could have ever had in my whole entire life. So that's the inner story. I ended up getting a divorce. And yeah, I am now divorced. I am a free man. And hopefully this doesn't ruin my life and my future opportunities with females and all that, because I want to get married again. But I would know now, and I've learned from my mistakes. Please don't go out and make those type of mistakes at all, because it will ruin your life, and it will. Yeah, just don't do it. If you're thinking about do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, don't do it. Cancel it, cancel it, cancel it, cancel it. But if you like the story time, make sure you like this video, and then make sure you comment any other things you want to see on this channel. But make sure you subscribe right now, and then make sure you hit that bell so you can get notified when I do post more videos. And also, if you want to catch more of me, because I do be streaming a lot now, you can catch me on my live channels, King Carl Lives. King Carl Lives, or catch me on Twitch when I'm live at King Carl TV on Twitch, bro. You don't want to miss me. It's going up from here. I got more bangers coming for you. I'm out. Peace. Thank you for watching.